Hi all, in this session we are going to learn about subroutines. Subroutines are the principal mechanism for control abstraction in most programming languages. Subroutine performs its operation on behalf of a caller function who waits for the subroutine to finish before continuing the execution. Subroutines is also called as functions or a procedure. A subroutine that returns a value is usually called as a function. A subroutine that does not return a value is usually called as a procedure. Most of the subroutines are parameterized. The caller passes arguments that influence the subroutine's behavior or provide it with the data to which to operate. Arguments are also called actual parameters. They are mapped to the subroutine formal parameters at the time a call occurs. An overloaded subprogram or a subroutine is one that has the same name as another subprogram in the same referencing environment, that is function overloading. Same function name with different argument list or the type of data. The next one is a generic subroutine, which is one whose computation can be done on data of different data types in different function calls. The templates in C++, generic class in Java, etc. are the examples of generic subroutine. The general characteristics of a subprogram or subroutine is every program has a single entry point. The calling program unit is suspended during the execution of the called subprogram, which implies that there is only one subprogram in execution at given time. The control always returns to the caller when the subprogram execution terminates. Let's understand the execution of a subroutine with an example. Consider the following C program, #include stdio.h, and in the main function I am declaring three variables as num1, num2 and sum, and I have initialized the value of sum as 0. Then I am reading two numbers from the user and storing it as num1 and num2. Then I am calling a subroutine or a function add by passing the arguments num1 and num2. So the control is transferred to the add function and the values are received by n1 and n2. I am declaring a third variable s and I am adding the values n1 and n2 and storing it in the memory location s, and then this s value is returned to the main function. So this sum of two numbers are received in this sum variable in the main function and this sum value is printed. Let's understand this with the help of a stack frame. The main function stack frame is created. The current line to be executed is shown in green color in this video. So the current statement in execution is in num1, num2, sum equal to 0. So in the stack frame of main, three memory locations are created, num1, num2, sum, and the value of sum is initialized as 0. The next statement is printf enter two numbers. So in the output screen it will display enter two numbers and the user may enter the values 4 and 5. Let's say 4 and 5. So this 4 and 5 is read by the scanf function and it is mapped with the value num1 and num2. So then 4 is stored in num1 memory location and 5 is stored in num2 memory location. Next is the function call sum is equal to add of num1 comma num2. So the values of num1 and num2, which is 4 and 5, is passed as argument to the subfunction called add. So the control is given from the main function to the subfunction add. So the main function execution is paused now and the control is given to the subfunction or the subroutine which is named as add. And in the add function signature there is declaration of int n1, int n2. So in the stack frame of add function, two memory locations are created as n1 and n2 and the values from the main functions 4 and 5 are mapped to n1 and n2 respectively. So n1 gets 4 and n2 gets 5. Next statement is int s. So a third memory location is created and it is mapped with the name s. Next is s equal to n1 plus n2. So 4 plus 5, 9 is stored in s. The next statement is returning the value of s to the main function. So the subroutine is executed now and the value held by the memory location s, which is 9, is returned to the main function. So the sum variable in the main function will now get the value 9. So the main function again resumes its execution and the next statement in the main function is printf sum is equal to %d comma sum. So the value of sum is displayed in the output segment. Sum equal to 9 is displayed in the output section. So this is how the subroutine execution takes place. The variables or arguments in the function called is termed as actual parameters and the variables or arguments in the function definition is termed as formal parameter. Let's see the typical stack layout of a subroutine execution. The storage consumed by parameters and local variables can be allocated on a stack. The activation record or the stack frame may contain arguments, its return values, bookkeeping info, local variables or temporaries. On return from the subroutine to the main program, the stack frame is popped from the stack. The stack pointer contains the address of the first unused location at the top of the stack, and the frame pointer contains the address within frame. Objects with variable size or unknown size are placed in a variable size array at the top of the frame, which is called as heap section. Every stack frame contains a reference to the frame of the lexically surrounding subroutine. This reference is termed as static link. The saved value of the frame pointer, which may be restored on subroutine return, is called as dynamic link. See the figure on the right side top part. The old frame represents the main function and the new frame represents the activation record of the subfunction. Why it is shown in the down part is this stack is growing downward. So the main function is shown on the top and the subfunctions will be shown on bottom side like that. And the remaining part in the downside is kept as unused. So a typical activation record contains the details like the saved temporary values, the parameters that is passed, the return address to which the function called or the value is returned after the execution of this particular subroutine, the saved frame pointer values required while the function is returned from the subroutine to the main program. From that frame pointer, the main function will resume its operation. So this link is called as dynamic link. Next is the components of a function. Every function has three components: function prologue, function body and function epilogue. Function prologue is a part of function does all the work needed to start up the function execution. It begins by reserving the space for local variables and other values on the runtime stack. The function body is where all the required work is accomplished. That is, it is the execution or the implementation part of a function, whereas the function epilogue cleans up the stack frame just before the function is done and returns to the caller. So the function prologue will initiate the function execution, the function body will implement the function, and the function epilogue will end up the function execution. See in this example, in the main function, the prologue will create the initial local variables and the function execution beginning. The subfunction is implemented, and after the implementation the stack frame is created and all the local values are deleted. For that purpose the epilogue will initiate. So these are the various function components or subroutine components. So the various actions performed during the subroutine calling sequence is defined as follows. The caller actions are: first, it will create an activation record instance or a stack frame, then save the execution status of the current program unit or the current function module. After that, compute and pass the parameters, pass the return address to the call function, then transfer the control to the called. So the control is given to the call function. Then the prologue actions of the called are as follows. Save the old frame pointer in the stack as the dynamic link and create the new value. Why we are storing this old FP is, after execution of the subroutine, this control should be given back to this frame pointer so that the execution will resume from that point. The second step is allocate the local variables. The epilogue actions of the called are as follows. If there are pass by value, result or out mode parameters, then the current values of those parameters are moved to the corresponding actual parameters. So if the main function is passing some values as arguments, then these values should be mapped with the actual parameters. And if the subprogram is a function, this functional value is moved to a place accessible to the caller. Restore the stack pointer by setting it to the value of the current functional pointer -1 and set the function pointer to the old dynamic link so that the function execution will resume from that point. Restore the execution status of the caller, transfer control back to the caller. So this is the execution of the typical subroutine calling sequence. So in short, create the activation record for the main program, then save the execution status of the current program unit, then pass the parameters and the return address to the call function, save the frame pointer address as a dynamic link so that the function execution will resume from that point, then execute the subfunction. After the execution of the subfunction, compute the frame pointer -1 so that it will give transfer back to the main program and the execution will resume from that point of time. Then let's see what are the design issues in subroutines or subprograms, or what are the things to be considered while designing a new programming language regarding subroutine designing. The various design aspects are local variables statically or dynamically allocated? Can a subprogram definition appear in other subprogram definitions? What all parameter passing methods or methods are used? That is, there are different parameter passing mechanisms like call by value, call by result, call by address, etc. So what are the various parameter passing mechanisms that can be used in our programming language? Are the types of the actual parameters checked against the types of the formal parameters? If subprograms can be passed as parameters and subprograms can be nested, then what is the referencing environment of a pass subprogram? Whether subprograms can be overloaded or not, whether subprograms can be generic or not, etc. All these design issues should be considered while developing a new programming language with the subroutine concept. Thank you.